then that's when I say, oh, hello there.
Hello!
Thank you for joining us once again, hopping in your Tardises, traveling back in time to
What?
1978. What is the plural for TARDIS?
I think tortoises.
Tardises.
I think tortoises.
Tards.
Alright.
Thanks for jumping in your tards with us and traveling back in time to 1978, wherein we explore the serial
The Pirate Planet. The second part of the Key of Time. As we do this magnificent, wonderful, amazing season of Doctor Who. Anyway, so today is our 99th episode. Next week we will have our 100th episode. Yes, that'll be awesome.
Anyway, have to figure out where to buy Jelly Babies.
World Market.
Oh,
You get it at World Market.
well,
Oh, that sounds good. We'll have jelly babies. That'll be fun.
Is there? What if we make a Jelly Baby cake? I'll put a piece of celery in my pocket. We'll have
We haven't gotten to that, Doctor,
a
yet.
whole fun time.
All right, but yeah.
Put a recorder.
But
in my
anyway,
pocket.
so next week, episode 100. It'll be awesome. The Stones of Blood is
Stones
next week.
of Blood.
Yeah.
Be there or be square.
All right. Pretty good cereal. Anyway, so like this one. Today is July 18th, 2022. We watched The Pirate Planet. 4 episodes. Aired from September 30th, my wife's birthday.
The 18th. I thought I got confused. I thought the day was 20.
Oh.
22. No, you're right. It is the 18th. That's why I was thrown off.
No. We forgot our phones. Turn it off.
Oh, it's turned off.
I am unsure as to your.
It's the. I thought you were saying it was the 22nd. I'm like, there's no way it's that late.
No, it's 18th. Wait,
Yeah,
why is mine not turning off? Turn off. Stupid phone.
Is it the kind you have to hold the lock button and the down volume button?
I don't know. I have this trouble every time I want to turn it off, which is not frequently, to be fair. Power off. Okay.
You got it?
Enter the pin to power off the phone. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
right.
interesting.
Cool. Anyway, forgot to plug it in. All right. So
What are you drinking today, Daddy?
I am drinking Long Island iced teas.
I am drinking Short Island iced tea.
You're drinking Twisted Tea.
Twisted tea.
Okay. Apparently, we both went to Ravi's today.
Yeah.
Local liquor store. Love them.
Sweet guy.
Yeah, sweet guy. And I got my wife a Ravi Rita, and I got some Long Island iced tea, and you got Twisted Teas.
Twisted tea. That's all I ever get.
I like to sample the alcohols.
I would if I just don't trust myself because I don't.
You're not
Well,
much
I
of a
get
hard
something-
alcohol drinker the way I
I get
am.
something I'm used to, and then that way I know how to pace myself. Otherwise, I'll pass out.
Speaking
I'll be
of
like, this is good, and then
okay, so next week for our 100, episode 100, only 4 episodes.
4
So we won't have the problem we had at the 50 when it was 10 episodes.
good.
Yeah, that was something else. I've had one of my brothers ask me, he's like, do you get that wasted every time? I'm like, no, that was a particular special day.
Maybe we shouldn't post these.
Nah.
Good thing I wasn't planning on running for president.
Yeah. Someday I'll run for senator or something, and they'll bring these up, and I'll be like, I was just having a good time, you know?
There you go.
It's like, well, how can we believe somebody who does this? Like, I don't know.
If anything, I think it makes you more honest.
Well, it definitely makes me more
Open?
not open, relatable.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm old enough to do all that stuff. I'll have to wait till I retire, though. All right. So, anyway.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good thing.
So, 4 episodes aired September 30th, 1978 to October 21st, 1978. The companions were Romana and K9, which is the whole season is Romana and K9.
What's her full name?
Romana Rathaluta something or other. Valuta. Romana, for short. Alright. Or Fred.
Fred.
Well, why don't you call me Fred? Okay, come on, Romana. Alright. The antagonists, the Captain, and Zanzia. Alright. So anyway, this serial was written by Douglas Adams.
What?
Yeah. Who, the famous author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. He wrote 3 serials for Doctor Who. And this is the first.
Oh.
The next one will be City of Death. An absolute classic. Absolute classic.
Daleks?
No.
Uh-huh.
Not Daleks. And the last one is...
Usually when death is in the title, I just think Daleks.
Oh, no. The next one is... Well, no. City of Death.
Mm-hmm.
See right there? Just...
Also Baker?
Yeah. And then Shada.
That's right there.
City of Death
He wrote
and then
Shada?
Yep. He wrote Shada.
I've heard good things about Shada.
The previously incomplete but now completed serial.
Was Shada met with mixed reviews, or am I confusing that with Shakla? I get Shada and Shakla.
Scream of the Shakla was the not canon.
Not canon.
Not canon.
The only thing that wasn't canon.
The only thing that's ever been declared by the BBC not canon. Initial restart of the show, but animated in 05, and then they decided to do it live action. So, but they were already so far in the production, they decided to finish it off, but they declared it non-canon. So Richard E. Grant, who was supposed to be the Ninth Doctor, ended up not being the Ninth Doctor. And it's Eccleston, but he does come back into the show as a bad guy with a great intelligence, actually.
Eccleston is...
Leather jacket, front center.
Who was I thinking of?
I have no idea who you're thinking of. Another Mentat.
What?
Another Mentat. There you go. Alright.
This is someone running a jammer.
Yeah.
Frequency 374.9.
Okay, so... Alright, in this serial... the Doctor and Mon are looking for the second piece of the Key of Time. Oh yeah, you're in check, by the way.
I am. We left on a cliffhanger.
Yep, you're in check, and you can either move the king or take my queen with yours. But if you move your king, I take your queen for free. That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yep. Alright, so anyway, the Doctor and Mon are looking for the second piece of the Key of Time, and they decide the spatial coordinates where the key is telling them to go, there you go, is the planet of Califrax, a little boring ice frozen waste of a planet. So they head to the planet. Rooks takes queen, check, and then you can leave it for next week. Alright. I figure I'm up 2 nights, I might as well.
You definitely are up 2 nights. Might as well trade the queens.
Yeah, get more power off the board while I'm up power. Alright, so so when they try to go to Califrax...
I'm in a cucumber. No. Pickle. I'm in a pickle.
Yeah. Alright.
Forgot the brine.
Forgot the brine. Alright. So they try to go to Califrax. There's this weird warpy special effect, spatial distortion, because apparently they and the pirate planet are trying to materialize on this planet at the same time. And they're not able to do it. But then Romana tries, and she does it, and they land on this fairly nice looking planet. Yeah, I mean, I like the people.
Sophisticated society.
Yeah, it looks kind of, not quite Venetian, kind of,
Roman?
Modern? Kind of modern.
A lot of stone and carved pillars, but very modernized.
Yeah, and they had
it's
like
probably too sci-fi to
air
really
cars and well, it looked kind of Pueblo-esque. You know, the Pueblo, the houses kind of look like Pueblos. You know, the ones
they
made
carved
with
it out of the
rock, or they put it together with the mud. They kind of look like that, but at the same time, it was an incredibly prosperous planet.
It is kind of a lot of curtains, Venetian.
Yeah, and they have technology. because they have air cars, which I'm still waiting for. I thought we were supposed to have them by now.
Yeah.
And
First electric, then air.
Yeah. And the Dr. and Romana show up, and nobody wants to talk to the doctor. The doctor's trying to get their attention.
I still don't know why. Why don't they want to talk to the doctor? He's not pretty?
No. In an oppressive society where anything abnormal could get you killed, you ignore the abnormal.
So why is the doctor more abnormal than Romana?
Okay, first of all, have you seen what he was wearing? Second of all,
she was wearing...
I think she found a particularly open-minded individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was pretty.
I think she's more attractive.
Yeah. Yeah, Kanan's like, let her try. Why? Well, she's pretty than you. Well, why should that matter? Anyway, so they're trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, have you seen a planet called Califrax? You know, because this planet is where Califrax should be. So the doctor is going, okay. But nobody's talking to him. Finally, Romana tries. Romana talks to the one guy. And Romana gives him jelly babies. The doctor's like, where'd you get the jelly babies? The same place you do. Where? Your pocket, yeah.
She traded the jelly babies for rubies and diamonds, which is...
Right, this guy's had
great
rubies
investment.
and diamonds in his pocket. But apparently they're scattered around on the ground.
Wealthy society.
Very wealthy.
Are you ever like eating a chip and then you drop it and you go, oh no, and you lose it in your beard? You ever shake it out like you're dumping out things from your pocket?
Yeah, this. or this. And you get it out, yeah.
You'll be like pulling out loose pencils and stuff. Oh, that's where I put that.
Not loose pencils. No, I'm keeping my beard for the Ren Fair.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Because I want them to braid it.
I was just going to ask. That was my next
I've
question.
been wanting them to braid. I have no hair to braid. So I'm like, okay, I said, someday I'm going to grow up my beard so they can braid it.
You're going to look very Norse and Viking.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And last year, it wasn't long enough to be braided, but I've kept it since then, and I'm like, okay, hopefully they'll braid it this year.
Yeah. I thought you might have been doing something with it because everyone's been like, oh, yeah, have you seen Hatter's beard? It's so poofy.
They said that?
Yeah, someone said that.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're like, I went to the shop and Hatter's beard is so wizardly.
I don't know if I'm going to keep it after that. Oh my gosh. So, I normally don't sweat, okay? But
it has been hot.
106 today. It's going to be 109
even
tomorrow.
Hotter tomorrow.
Okay. I've got a beard like this in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
I have extra weight on me these days. I'm on keto, which makes you hot as you break down the fat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm just older. So, fatter, older, big beard, keto. I've been sweating lately, and I normally don't sweat. I'm like, okay.
This has been miserable. I'm not a big sweater either, but it's dripping down my back. I'm comfortable all day. The thermostat in the building's controlled by corporate, so it's just uncomfortably warm. Yeah, because they don't want to spend money on air conditioning.
Okay, so here in Texas, we have our own electrical grid. Okay, 70% of Lubbock's on the Texas one, and 30% still on the Eastern grid. On that chart up there.
Right.
Anyway, so
they haven't gone all Texas grid.
The LP and L stuff has switched over to Texas. The SP and S stuff, the old other one that we had here in town, goes on it in March or April or May.
I heard we're supposed to be getting a new energy provider.
Well,
like you can choose between LP and L and
once everything is switched over,
residential.
Then we have a whole bunch of options because we'll have the capability to choose amongst different ones.
That's
feeding
lovely.
Into the grid. Yeah, it is.
I think LP and L has had too much of a monopoly. It's been like the sole energy company.
Well, we used to have the two, which almost no cities do, but we did, and they sent people here to Lubbock to examine what two energy grids did to people to see if there were extra incidences of cancer or tumors or something. You know? Yeah.
Really?
Because very few cities have that. It's
well,
very unique.
every city needs 2 of everything because that's how capitalism works, right?
I agree. But no.
At least 2.
But anyway, so
2 is few.
I need to read the article. I've only read the headline. But
I mean, they're saying the same thing about the 5G towers and stuff.
No. Supposedly, like I said, I actually need to read the article. So far, it's, I don't know much about it. Supposedly, the energy companies, if you have like a Nest, like we have here, they're manipulating the thermostat to keep it from from blacking out or browning out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
first of all, you shouldn't have blackouts or brownouts to begin with. You have a problem with your grid.
Well, that goes back to politics and the whole green crap.
And second
they need to fire up some nuclear plants, what they need to do.
How is it legal for them to hijack your smart thermostat and be like, I'll turn that up?
You knew as soon as it went smart, somebody was going to control it.
Your smart house that's like Space Odyssey.
2001, yeah. No, we need. There's only one nuclear plant in Texas.
We need more nuclear.
We need more nuclear.
It's so incredibly efficient compared to everything
and
else.
So much better.
Less waste, more affordable.
Yeah, and it's so much better than the stuff that with the wind turbines,
the weather conditioner.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But people are still upset about Chernobyl, and it's like, how is that even comparable to?
Okay, classic liberals have embraced nuclear. The problem is that modern liberals don't like it for those very reasons. They remember 3 Mile Island. They remember Chernobyl.
I feel like they don't even know why they're rioting anymore, protesting. Just like, this is I'm supposed to be
they're being
against
paid
this.
by George Soros and his son Alan.
I don't know.
He's got a son that supposedly is worse than him, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't investigated this. Once again, I've only read the headline. Sorry,
the son's
I need to read more stuff. Yeah.
Normally,
Normally they are if you're talking about kings and stuff. Yeah.
You thought Biden was bad? He's the son.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Get off of politics. All right. Let's
you think I'm bad? Just wait till I.
You have a son.
Till my offspring. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so Doctor Who. So they go to this planet, and in the meantime, they're trying to find people to talk to them. There's a guy, Felix. What's his name? Pralix. Yeah, this guy's having problems. So
he's a sick boy.
The captain, who is this Disney villain cartoon character, I love the way he's acted. It's the overacting. I love it. It's just hilarious.
It kind of gives me like Captain Hook vibes from the animated movie.
Yeah,
and live action.
There's another guy who does it just as well in The Horns of Nimon. Coming up.
I haven't seen that yet.
There you go. The Horns of Nimon, right before Shop. Okay. There's a guy in there that does the same overacting, hamming it up, chewing the scenery thing, and I love it.
It's really enjoyable because it reminds me of like going to see dramas or plays with the stage director and they just overact.
Well,
or playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I mean, on stage you can't talk like this.
Yeah, they have to.
You have to talk like this. You know,
project.
You have to project your voice. You have to make a stage presence, and you have to exclaim the fact that you're there to the world, and that's the way this guy does, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a good old-fashioned pirate with an automated parrot on his shoulder.
New fashion,
yeah. He's half cyborg.
He's a cyber.
Yeah, he's a cyberpunk pirate. He's half cyborg.
Space pirate.
He's got all this electronic stuff. Like half his face is covered. He's got this weird Viking-esque kind of like
the Frankenstein
diadem, with the Frankenstein bolts. One working hand, the left one is all Cybertronic, the right one's flesh, and the guy is brilliant. His vocabulary is fantastic. By the left frontal lobe of Satan, you know, it's like, what the heck?
The devil's parrot.
Yeah, the devil's parrot. The devil's molars, you know? It's hilarious, some of the stuff he says. Yeah, anyway, so he apparently takes this planet and gives them vast wealth and new ages of prosperity, as he announces. And when he does that, the omens in the sky, everything changes, and he moves them. So essentially he has these great dematerializers or rematerializer circuits. He can move in space, but not time.
Hardest planet.
Yeah.
Or Riddest planet.
Okay. And he moves a planet, and it's hollow inside. And he surrounds other planets. And they mine the other planets for their resources.
Urdis planet.
Urdis?
Relative dimensions in space. But not the time part.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't travel.
Rodus. Oh, man.
It's a thinker.
Hey. So
it's the hardest planet.
So his captain is such a cartoon villain. He's wonderful. And the doctor and Romana are looking around, and the doctor's like, "Stay here, Romana." And he goes and he finds this guy who's screaming, Praxis?
Prelix.
And turns out that Prelix is slightly telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
But after they did the move of the omens, with the omens in the sky.
Yeah, every omen brings new horrific visions, and he goes into like a state of shock and
stupor. Yeah. And the doctor finds him, and he's repeating, you know, the life force is dying. In the meantime, the Mentats we see are walking around in a circle. I think counterclockwise.
I think
going,
it's,
the life force is dying.
Like a college fraternity
initiation.
They're probably
yeah. So anyway, they get him.
They bring out the paddles.
We don't see that. So basically, they're making a connection with him because they're telepathic and he's telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor finds him and starts asking what's wrong. His sister, what's her name? Praxis' sister? Mia? Mulas. Her fiance or boyfriend or something.
Kaimus?
Yes, Kaimus.
I have it spelt right, I just don't remember how they pronounce it.
The grandfather?
Kaimus.
Like,
the old man was Balatan.
Anyway, so they're in this house, and the doctor's like, what's going on with him? And they explain to him, basically, and a couple of guards show up. In the meantime, Romana gets arrested because she has a telescope. And apparently telescopes are forbidden. Not a telescope, an eyeglass.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Telescope.
No, telescopes are bigger. Eyeglass, I guess.
The pirate one. I think it is an eyeglass.
Yeah. Eyeglasses are forbidden. Don't know why. In fact, she
says
goes, "Why?"
The question.
That's a forbidden question. Why?
Who are you? I'm a doctor. Was that forbidden too? Yes.
Yeah, that's forbidden. Yeah, she kind of snarks off.
Straight to jail.
I don't like Romana 1 because she's too imperious.
I like her. I like that she's really sassy. I mean, she kind of earned it because, I mean, the doctor's really, what's the word?
Staunch?
Stubborn. He's really stubborn and not open to
but she's a bit
advice. And she's intelligent, and she has, you know...
Okay.
she has beneficial information, and he blocks that out and ignores it. He goes, madness, and then she proves him wrong, and so she's kind of earned her snarkiness to a degree.
To a point. I like her to a point, but there's two problems. One, I do not like her imperiousness, and two, she just pales to me in comparison to Romana too. And we'll get there after the season.
I haven't seen Romana too.
Yeah, we'll get there after the season.
But I've been waiting for a companion to put the Doctor in his place because he's so.
And Romana does. Romana does. Over and over and over again. So anyway,
I hear that gets old in the later stuff, but
yeah.
So far it's kind of fun. I enjoy it.
No.
The
Clara
back and
with
forth.
I'm better than the Doctor and all that garbage. Anyway,
Is she a human?
Yeah, she's human, but she can mess with Time Lord technology and reverse it better than the Doctor. Yeah, it's all crap. But anyway, so
we kind of get some. Well, not really, but. So when they were first materializing, Romana is looking up this old ancient manual about the old type.
About the TARDIS, an instruction manual.
What type is it for?
Type 40.
40. Type 40 TARDIS. And she's talking about how it's an ancient capsule.
Yeah, didn't they teach you this in school? No, we didn't get into antiques.
So it kind of gives us some insight into why the Doctor's so stubborn, because we kind of feel like he's this older generation who said, back in my day we had rotary phones and kids are, and Romana's here on her iPhone going, yeah,
Dad, yeah, Grandpa, yeah.
It's like, it's perfectly fine. She's like, so it kind of gives you some insight into why he's so stubborn and
back in my day, TV was black and white. We were happy with that,
Walked uphill both ways to school.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I'm going to show you the 4 Yorkshiremen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Monty Python skit.
Yeah, you want to watch that tonight?
Yeah, it's like 6 minutes. It's awesome.
4
Yorkshiremen.
Okay, let's watch that.
After the podcast. Anyway, so the Doctor, Romana gets arrested. And she's like, oh, she sasses off. She gets arrested, and she gets taken by the guards of this place, and they wear outfits that cover their face except their mouth,
How could I see with this blast shield in front of my face?
Yeah,
Uncle Ben.
Yeah, but
Use the Force.
Exactly. They take her in an air car up to the bridge. The Doctor, in the meantime,
it explains why there's such bad shots, because
oh god.
They're just staring at people.
They're stormtrooper bad shots,
Who are you?
It's really bad.
That's illegal.
It's illegal. So the Doctor is there, and
I like the scene where the psychics are putting up the force field to block the lasers, and they don't even have to because they keep shooting above their head anyway. It's like,
well, to be fair, the Mentats were probably changing the angle of the shots. Yeah. Alright, so the Mentats, who are these telepathic beings on this planet, show up, and they're taking Prelix. What's his name?
Prelix.
They're taking Prelix, and there's like, because some guards showed up first, and K9 took care of the guards.
Are you ready for what do we call that? Mnemonic device.
Okay.
Do you have one for Prelix? Would you like one?
Okay.
Okay, so you remember Prelix by you don't pray for kisses, pray for licks. Prelix.
And it's pretty dirty.
And you'll never forget the name.
And it's pretty dirty.
You have to put a little bit of shock value into it so it sticks. You're like, now I won't forget the name.
You're
They're
correct.
fun.
You're correct. I'm not gonna forget it now.
I like mnemonic devices. They work. I mean, they're fun.
Have you seen Johnny Mnemonic?
No, Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic. What's his name?
Johnny Mnemonic.
No. It stars the guy from John Wick.
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, has Keanu Reeves.
I like him.
He's good. He's good.
Well,
Okay. So there are Hollywood.
Straight.
Yeah, there are Hollywood stars who consider themselves above normal people.
Oh, I do
he
like
is
how
not that way.
No,
he's just like, I'm a dude just doing my job, and he's so happy and friendly with people, and I love that.
He's those 1 in a million rare people that the fame and success just hasn't changed him at all.
Exactly. Love you, man.
I love Keanu Reeves, but as an actor, I like him in a couple of franchises, but
Matrix.
He's such a straight man in every movie. It's like is hard to. He has to have a very specific role. So yes, Matrix is one of them.
John Wick.
That was made for him.
Yeah, it's perfect for him. He was perfect in it. It was perfect for him.
Can't stand John Wick. I just don't like
love John Wick, especially the first film.
I understand that it's a very testosterone guys movie, but it's just so goofy to me. I can't get into it.
It's very over the top, and you have to love it for the over the topness.
Yeah. I thought he was perfect in Bill and Ted, though. Bizarre.
Yeah. The first two are good. The third one, not so much.
I hadn't seen it. I don't even think I've seen the second one.
Bill and Ted. Well, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It was originally entitled Bill and Ted Go to Hell, but
with the
it was too early for a title like that, so they changed it to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I think it's still too early.
No, Go to Hell is nothing anymore.
It's not a curse word.
But remember at the end of 2, they show it with sons.
I haven't seen the second one.
No, they show it with sons. It's great.
They show up with sons?
Yeah, little babies.
Oh.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
they have daughters in the.
Yes, they changed the sons to daughters. They because nobody has sons anymore. All the woke stuff is everyone has daughters only.
Is Keanu Bill or is he Ted? He's Bill, right? Keanu. I really like the actress that plays.
Yeah, he's Bill, I think.
I really like the actress that plays Bill's daughter. Keanu is Ted. Oh, my bad.
Sorry, my wife was correcting this. Keanu is Ted.
Keanu is Ted. I like the actress that plays Ted's daughter. Even though I haven't seen the movie, I thought.
Well, they're fine actresses. I just hate the fact that they
they're always retconning. I mean,
retconning
it was
to make
like
them
10 years it took them to make it, or more than 10. When did the second one came out?
Early 90s?
90s, yeah.
Like,
it took like 30 years.
No, 25.
Yeah,
25.
It was a long time.
But once again, hate the fact that the sons are retconned into girls. Like I said, nobody has sons anymore. Everything has to be girls to inherit everything or change everything. I mean, Wolverine, a girl. It's just like, come on. Just
the one
stop
with the two claws? I love the Logan movie. That was great.
Never seen it.
You haven't seen Logan? Mm-hmm. I think you would like it. It's good.
I'm done. I'm so done.
No, I'm totally checked out on like superhero movies. The franchise is oversaturated. But you like the Joker, right? The Joker's
love the Joker.
It's a departure of the normal superhero movies,
right?
And that's what Logan is. It's kind of like an R-rated.
What's his face's performance was just so good.
Hugh Jackman, yeah.
No, in the Joker.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Great.
It was so amazing.
So, do you like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Yes.
This is by far his best performance as Wolverine is in the Logan movie. I think you'd like it. It's not as good as the Joker. I don't want to overhype it for you, but it's a really good film. I like Logan a lot.
Yeah, I'm just
probably the best X-Men film. It's Logan. It's not an X-Men film.
All right, dude. Let's get back to the Doctor Who. Okay.
What are we talking about?
Doctor Who.
Star Wars? Oh.
Okay. So, anyway. So the Mentats come in.
Episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1. Alright. So the Mentats come in, and the Doctor's like, hey, are you the... first the guards come in. K9 stuns the guards. Previously...
I think he... Did we decide he kills the guards?
Yeah, he kills
the guards, stuns them indefinitely.
How long do you stun them? Indefinitely.
The Doctor says, good boy.
Yeah. And the guy says, well, they were the captain's guards. So anyway, then the
I didn't know K-9 killed people.
yeah, not usually. My wife's a big Bill and Ted fan, so
okay.
that's why she shouted that.
I mean, I really like the first film.
Oh, the first one was the best.
I haven't seen 2 or 3. We should have a Bill and Ted night.
2's good. 3 was okay for what it was, but it had a lot of flaws.
Oh, don't all movies nowadays like newer, modern?
Yeah. Top Gun. Have you seen the Top Gun?
I haven't. Was it good? You liked it?
It was amazing.
I heard it was better than the first Top Gun.
It was amazing.
I'll have to check that out.
I was surprised.
I've heard
I was kind of interested.
Mm-hmm.
And Melissa took me to see it. She didn't have to drag me there. I was kind of interested, but it was phenomenal.
Well, that's good.
The character story arcs are great. The story is great. The action is great.
I like
and
a lot of the actors.
It's one of the few. They used to make movies like this all the time. Rah rah America. We're good. We do things. We're good at it.
USA.
Yeah,
USA.
and they don't do that anymore.
They're not allowed to. Yeah.
But this one was. It was just really, really well done.
Well, that's good. I like a lot of the actors that are in it. I just haven't been seeing a lot of movies lately because I just lost all hope in any film that comes out.
Alright, go see Top Gun Maverick in the theater. It's worth it on the big screen because everything these days is CGI, right? Mm-hmm. No, this is all practical.
I love that. Love practical.
All practical, and it is just beautiful on the screen.
Yeah, so expensive to make that movie, I bet.
Yeah, but it's worth it. I think it's already gotten $1 billion worldwide.
Timeless. I was afraid that, when you go into...
Close. Not quite close.
When you go into movies like Blade Runner, and they come out with the second Blade Runner years and years later, it's like, well, if you like the first one, you like the second one. And I saw the first Top Gun, I thought it was kind of slow, so I didn't think I'd like the second one. But I'll have to go see it.
Please, go see it. I only saw the first one last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd never seen it till last year.
Why did it take you so long?
Alright, when I was young...
You didn't like Tom Cruise?
Well, no, the problem was all the girls were like, Tom Cruise. I'm like, I can't compete with this. So I developed a...
You can, you're taller.
No. Well, I am taller than Tom Cruise. Everybody's taller than Tom Cruise. But I developed a dislike for him based on the fact that I couldn't compete with him. Because he was too good looking and a good actor. But all the girls were after Tom Cruise. I'm like, I can't compete with this, so I didn't like him. So I didn't watch his movies for a long time. I saw the one where he's dancing in his underwear and socks.
That's probably the one that Tom Cruise movie I haven't
Risky
seen.
Business. Yeah, so I saw that. But then he got big. And I've never seen Hook, and I've never seen not Hook, Legend. Never seen Legend. Never seen his race car movie. Never seen a bunch of his stuff.
You gotta watch the Mission Impossible movies.
I've seen a couple of them, but
they get better and better as they go on.
Hold on. So I didn't watch much Tom Cruise until the 90s when he got into science fiction. And Vanilla Sky, Edge of Tomorrow, Minority Report.
Good.
These are great movies. Yeah. I like those. Yeah. But I never went back and watched his old catalog.
So now you're just now getting into the...
Yeah. So I'm just watching a few of them now, but... My wife got me to watch The Mission Impossible, a couple of them, movies. I love them, except I hate the fact that they feel like an episode in an ongoing story. I want them to be self-contained.
It's kind of like the Indiana Jones movies, and you go in and they have that intro about his adventures growing up as a child, and you're like, is this a TV series?
Well, there's a third one, yeah. And there was a TV series, Young Indiana Jones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was. But no.
Is that why they put that intro in? I'm so thrown off by that.
No idea.
It makes more sense now.
I want a movie to be more or less self-contained, unless it's very specifically part of a bigger story like Lord of the Rings. I had to put that out as 3 movies, but it's not like I don't want to watch a movie
just to be advertised another movie.
I want there to be a conclusion. I want there to be a
Marvel, an
ending. I want it to feel like a complete story. And the latest Mission Impossible, no, it just felt like a setup for the next movie.
Really? I think they get less self-referential as you go on.
But it was just a setup for the next movie. It's like, here's the next thing. It's like, I don't want the next thing. I want it to finish now, you know?
Well, it's kind of like a Doctor Who thing where it's like, Ethan Hunt's on the next adventure. There's another mission. And it's probably not.
No, but Doctor Who's a TV show. We're talking about movies here.
He's Indiana Jones. He's Tom Cruise. There's the other mission. It's impossible. So the next movie is always like, here is your next mission, should you choose to accept. Yeah. And then we don't even see that mission.
Anyway, alright.
It kind of gives you a broader experience. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, we're like 45 minutes into this, and we're on episode 1.
First episode.
Alright, yeah. Alright. So anyway, the Mentats show up, and the doctor's like, are you the Mentats? You look like the Mentats to me. And they kind of force shoot at him, and they knock him out. And that's where the episode ends. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Episode 2. The Mentats take Pralix.
Don't pray for kisses.
Oh, God. Alright, yep. The Mentats take Pralix. Apparently being a Mentat means that you are really pale and have really bloodshot bags under your eyes. So Pralix...
He lost his tan immediately.
Yeah.
All the blood goes to your brain, so you get, you know...
So you have none for your body.
Your ghostly light. Yeah. That makes sense. They're psychic. Their brains require
a lot of...
Just...
yeah. Alright. Pralix leaves the Mentats. The doctor wakes up, and K9 had been trying to tell the doctor several times that Romana was arrested.
And it's such a bizarre, intentional, obvious plot point.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like Romana's stick-to-itiveness, or, you know.
Okay.
Like, people deserve to gloat when the doctor ignores them, and then he's like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, I did.
I tried. Yeah. And Ken's like, I tried to tell you. Anyway.
It's kind of humorous, but...
Yeah, the doctor's like, okay, who's going to go after Pralix? And Sister says, I'm going after him. Sister's boyfriend,
Mulas.
Yeah, Mulas. And Kimos. And I'm going to go after him. And the grandfather's like, no, I don't want anything to do with any of this. Yeah.
He's the kind of person that's just plugged into the news media, and he's like, he subscribes to it all. Like, Captain's the best person ever. The guard's here to help us. The Mentats are the
He's very
worst.
Curmudgeonly. Yeah.
He's just like, whatever I have to do to not go against the status quo. Like, right. That's what I'm subscribing to.
So the doctor's like, all right, K9, and how about you, Romana? And he goes, Romana? Where's Romana? Turns out Romana's not there. And then K9's like, Romana got arrested. The doctor's like, why didn't you tell me? K9's like, I tried to tell you 4 separate times. There you go. Get a refill. Alright. You been sloshing today? Alright.
Need to work on something.
There you go.
Back roller.
Love you, sunshine. Go to bed. Alright. So anyway, the sister goes after Pralix, and the doctor can't stop her. He says, we gotta save Romana first. Because she has the wand, that will show us where the key to timepiece is, and he figured that she was in more trouble than Pralix was. So, but the sister runs off to Pralix, and the doctor looks at K9 and goes, "Okay, K9, take care of her, lead her to the Mentats, because apparently K9 can detect the psychokinetic energy that the Mentats leave a residue of behind, but take care of her." So K9 goes off to do that. The doctor and her boyfriend, whatever the heck his name is, they go off to head to the bridge, which is the place on top of the mountain. They manage to get up there in an air car. By hijacking the air car, by distracting the guard with a box of Allgood candies, because Romana had given the local guy the last of the Jelly Babies. So they distract him, they take the air car, they go up to the bridge. In the meantime, Romana is introduced to the captain, and there's this really, really cool scientist, engineer dude, and who keeps talking with the captain, and he seems like the nearly second in command. He's the one guy who can talk to the captain and not be killed. I forget his name. What's his name? Fibuli. Strange name. Anyway, so apparently in the last transition, the last teleportation of the planet, a major circuit had burned out, and this is one of the few things that they cannot fix on this planet. They can replace it by getting a particular mineral from another planet, but they only have one jump's worth of energy left. But they find Romana, and Romana's like, oh yeah, it looks like a dematerialization circuit. Yeah, it's an antique, but I can probably fix it, given the right materials. So they're working on that, and they're about to kill her, but she says that, and then the captain doesn't kill her, and she says, but look, I'm just, I'm here with the doctor. And the captain's like, there's another alien on the planet? And he says, yeah, you really should be talking to him. I'm just his assistant. He can fix this, absolutely. And so the captain's like, well, you have to go find the doctor. Guards, go find the doctor. At that exact moment, the doctor shows up. Because he had gone ahead and left the sister's boyfriend down at the bottom guarding stuff. So the doctor shows up and says, hey, I'm the doctor. And the captain's like, okay, let me capture you. And, hey, wait, why is there nothing in your glass?
Ow.
Okay, you just had the one?
Yeah.
Oh, more is better.
I gotta drive home at some point.
Oh, that's true. We do have a guest room.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is this supposed to be recording?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be recording?
It is recording. The red light's on. I see it right there. Alright. So anyway, the doctor shows up. They press him into their service, and they say, okay, you're going to fix this dematerialization, rematerialization circuit for us. I can't remember what they called it.
Part of the ship. There's a million sci-fi.
Yeah, they use all these technical
down
terms. And
the names of all the made-up rocks and stuff, and I can't. All the planets.
Oh my gosh. So anyway.
Uline,
yeah.
Valium and Mantronite 1-5. I give up.
Unobtainium. Yeah.
Libranium. Kryptonite.
Yeah. So the doctor and Romana start looking like they're attempting to fix the engine drives.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors are like, Romana, you have to be careful. She's like, why? He said, the captain, he's very dangerous. She says, no, he's just blustery. He's like, no, he's incredibly smart, incredibly clever, and incredibly dangerous.
I love that about the captain, by the way. It never says the captain's name.
Mm.
But did you talk about Fibuli, the scientific advisor?
Yeah, I love that guy.
I love the relationship between him. Fibuli.
He's such a lick spittle.
And the captain, he's a lick spittle, and then you think, the captain just keeps him around because he's the brains, and it's the bronze and the brains.
Right.
But then he pulls him in, And he's like, what caused this? And he goes, we don't know. And then he's like pulling up the charts and he's explaining
this is it, and this is yeah.
And it gives you more of a sense of like they're more colleagues than Brain and Bronze.
Right. The captain is super clever, super smart, super intelligent, knowledgeable. He comes from a different race. He crash landed on the planet, but he's from a race that is technologically far superior.
Yeah. I like that there's that, it kind of breaks that stereotype and subverted expectations of the Brain and Bronze. It's like, oh, he's like just as smart as
if not.
Is smarter, way smarter, yeah, probably.
So anyway, the Dr. and Romana are fake fixing stuff. And the Doctor's like, well, look, I need to go back to my TARDIS to get this special equipment. And the Captain's like, well, you go, she'll stay here. And the Doctor's like, well, can't we have it's a dual door opening mechanism. We each need to, place our biometrics and we'll get in. And the Captain doesn't like that.
We've moved on from metabolism to biometrics. I never got the metabolism thing.
And well, it's not well explained.
Are metabolisms like fingerprints?
Well, Time Lord's metabolism is probably faster because of the two hearts.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they head off.
It's also how K9 knows the Doctor by his heartbeats.
Those heartbeats. So they head off, and they're being escorted out to the TARDIS. And they get out to the front, and there's the sister's boyfriend. What's his name? Kymus is there, and these stormtroopers who are so bad at shooting keep shooting around him, and he picks off all three of them one by one.
So what? Wasn't there 4? Was this where the two guards come out with?
There's the two guards
Romana and the Doctor. And then there's 2 guards earlier that snuck up behind Kima's.
No, there's one guard down below, I think. One.
I must be thinking of a later shootout where like the guards end up shooting at each other.
Yeah, well no.
That's later.
The Doctor and Romana drop down and Kimas takes out all of them. And it's great.
Jedi Duncan. And I can't imagine he's ever fired that gun before.
Probably not, but he's better than the cover our eyes stormtrooper guards, Oh man. So what?
I forgot my question. It'll come back to me.
Go ahead. Quick. Alright. So the Doctor and Romana and Kimas decide to head out to look for the Mentats, right?
Because that's where his girlfriend went off to.
Right. His girlfriend, who's the sister of Prelix, went off to. So they head out and they find him. Alright. You continue. I'm getting a drink.
So currently, when Mulas? I don't know how they pronounce it. Anyway, the sister of Prelix went off to find her brother Prelix, and the Mentats and the Doctor ordered K9 to go with her, and eventually it was off camera, but they made it to the alcove where the psychics stay. Gestalt is what they call them. Multiple minds joined together. Anyway, apparently they found them because they're there when the Doctor and Romana and Kimas get there because they're already in a cell, and then they show up, and then hold on, I think I'm getting a little. Okay, yeah. So they're headed off looking for the Mentats, but they're also exploring the mine shaft. I don't know if Heather talked about the mine shaft yet. They go down the mine shaft and discover that the entire planet Zarak is hollow, and Califrax is inside of Zarak. And Zarak is basically, we talked about the TARDIS planet and how it teleports around smaller planets and kind of mines them of their resources. So they discover, that's what's going on. So then they're headed back up the mine shaft and they're going to find the Mentats. But they're ambushed by a couple more guards. Luckily, the Mentats show up and create a psychic barrier to protect them from the gunfire. And then they say, "We have come for you, Doctor." And that is the end of episode 2. So episode 3, the Mentats take the Doctor and his companions and friend back to their alcove, their cave, whatever, where their hiding spot is. And that's where Kimas is reunited with Prelix and Bulas. And the Doctor and Romana are reunited with K9. And Prelix has changed a little bit. He changed his outfit. He's very pale now, and he has bloodshot, red ring bags under his eyes because he's now a psychic. He's unlocked his psychological potential, his psychotic powers. Anyway, so there's some more disposition. They talk about how they discovered that the planet is hollow and it teleports around and engulfs other planets and mines them of the resources and valuable materials and gems and basically a pirate planet. And that's why it's called the pirate planet, is they go and plunder other ships or planets. And then in doing so, they're basically destroying all life on these planets that they encompass and engulf and mine all the resources out of. So when the Zarak, the pirate planet, teleported over Califrax, it destroyed all life on that planet and just what did the Doctor refer to it as? Some weird European British phrase for numbers. 1,000 million, which isn't really a phrase we use here in the West. 1,000 million souls were killed, and that's why the Mentats are suffering every time the captain declares a new age of prosperity, and there's the light show, and the lights in the sky change because they're changing positions in space, so the stars are different. And then the Mentats all have horrible, terrible psychic visions of all the dying life forms happening underneath the surface of the planet. And that's what awoke Prelix's psychic abilities, was because Romana explains it as whenever a life form is destroyed, like every atom and molecule has a significant amount of energy, so when you're destroying lives and mining these planets of their resources and energy and just breaking down all these molecules and atoms and destroying 1,000 million lives, that lets out this giant amount of energy, and a certain amount of that energy is on a psychic wavelength, and it breaks through whatever mental barrier psychomentally inclined people have, and it awakes their psychokinetic ability. So that's why every time they travel and discover a new age of prosperity, people were, going into shock and having visions, because it's
some people,
not everyone, but so that's what's happening in Prelix. And when that happens, guards show up and they kill them. And that's why Balaton earlier was so worried about people hearing Prelix as he's shouting about the loss of life, and it's of course the government and the captain's spin on this is that the Mentats show up for these people and torture them and stuff.
Right, it's a very oppressive society. You can't ask questions.
Can't ask questions.
Can't ask why.
The penalty for exploring the mine shaft is death, and we explained why earlier, because then you would discover the pirate planet that engulfs other planets. So that's what's going on. So it's basically the plot is revealed by this point, and then they say, well, we have to do something. We have to put a stop to this evil destruction of life. We're on episode 3 now. Episode 2 ended with them meeting in the tunnel and the Mentats saying, "We have come for you, Doctor."
Yeah.
All right. So then they took him back to the alcove, and everyone's reunited,
and
they're talking about
yada yada. Yeah. So
there's a couple of really great quotes. Oh, I guess I didn't write it down. Pralix is very upset by the fact that once they discover what's been happening and the Mentats discover, the Doctor explains to the Mentats why they've been suffering so much because of this immense loss of life, letting out this immense energy, and it's been awakening people. And Pralix says with each lost life, they're powering their event.
Right, they're powering our ability to avenge them.
Yeah, this is a really cool quote. I like it.
Yeah.
So it's a nice way to think of it. So that's what's waking up the psychics. So they say, well, we have to put a stop to this. They're heading back to the mountain city.
Mm-hmm. To the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah. So they head back, and Dar's like, okay, you need to take care of the engines. You guys take care of the engines. We're going to go in, and I'm going to deal with the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets captured along with the boyfriend's name, Kemus. And they get captured trying to get back to the bridge the same way they did before, but they try to treat the guard the exact same way with the Allgoods candies, but the guard had
a big car this time.
Right. He had turned off the car in such a way the Doctor couldn't fly it, and it shocked them. Mm-hmm. So the guard was acting. It was a great trap. It was a fantastic trap.
It's not often you see the villain learn from their mistakes.
True. And the guard, Dark's like, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. I shouldn't do this. And then he gets captured, and they take them up. The next thing you see is Kunis.
Who?
The Doctor and Kemus.
Oh yeah.
Kemus. Yeah. And they're
tied up to pillars.
Right, tied to a pillar.
Seat belts.
Yeah, it looks like seat belts. It's really weird. And the captain's like, I should kill you, Doctor. The Doctor's like, you can't kill me. You can't kill me. It's the Warrior's Code.
Which doesn't really make any sense to me, because he gets him with that, and he's like, oh, you're right. He's like, you can't kill an unarmed man. It's the Warrior's Code. There's no thrill in it. He goes, you're right, and he unties him, but it didn't stop him before.
Well, no.
He's totally just
if I'm bound, I think, yeah, but
I think it's because the Doctor called him out on it.
Well, and it's an adversary.
They
recognize adversaries and subordinates. He killed the subordinates.
They recognize each other as intellectual rivals, and the captain needs to gloat about his accomplishments.
Wait, how many people died in this series?
13 on screen and countless thousands of millions off screen.
Yeah, billions off screen. It's a fairly dark serial. Yeah, we're talking about Holocaust.
Entire planets just being wiped out.
Inhabited planets.
You thought the Death Star was bad.
And okay, and as we've gone along, there's this nurse lady for the captain.
I love the nurse with It's the slow building of this character. There's you see the captain's relationship with Fibuli, and the captain's just this absolute aggressive tyrant that it will not accept incompetence and executes people because of failure.
Yeah.
And he just bullies Fibuli.
Everyone else.
And everyone else. And you see the nurse, and the nurse is taking care of him. And she kind of has influence over his
like
decisions.
This could be his niece or something.
So when Romana is captured, he's like, kill her, and then the nurse is like, it's bad for your blood pressure. It's too much excitement. Wait till tomorrow to execute.
You've already had one execution for today, yeah.
And then you see this kind of relationship where it's like, oh, the nurse is kind of, she influences his decisions, and then you see this you're revealed more and more to the character, to where at this point
the nurse dominates him.
Yeah, she tells him, she's like, don't do that, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, and she eventually, she didn't show up till episode 2, episode 3, the dynamics change, and she seems the more superior. And by episode 4, she's commanding everyone what to do.
Yeah, there's a big twist there where she's really been the one in command the entire time.
Right. Behind the scenes, but in control.
She is Zanzia.
Yeah.
So the captain is basically her puppet. What was the word? It's lost me.
Marionette.
Yeah, the front man who she's having lead the parade, but she's really in charge, and he's kind of just doing
what she pulls the strings. All right, so turns out this planet had a Queen Zanzia, who
was evil,
just
evil powers,
just dominated the planet and got into so many galactic scrapes just to prove she was powerful, and she eventually devastated the planet.
Evil, unnaturally long lifespan. Yeah, eventually she mined out the core of her own planet, and we're not really sure why yet.
Well, no. To feed the power to keep her alive.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, we find out in episode. Okay, so still in episode 3.
So
the pirate captain takes the doctor. He says, unleash him. Takes him into this corridor.
Let me tell you my plan.
Yeah. Mr. Bond, let me tell you all that. And he shows him these planets, the very last little bits.
The core of each planet.
The core of each planet, super densified.
Which have been compressed as all this mining equipment has just been mining them. So you have these super compressed, dense cores of planets just floating in little spheroids.
Right, it's very reminiscent. We will kind of revisit this again in the Battle of Korsov?
Krakatoa Airsoft?
No. Okay, there's a kind of a similar situation in the 13th Doctor's era. Let's see. Hold on.
Have you ever LARPed before?
Oh, yeah.
Would you LARP now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I could fit into the costume. Alright, the Battle of Ranskor Avkolis.
That's all. That's the episode?
Yeah, that's the name of the episode.
The serial title?
Yeah.
Say it again?
The Battle of Ranskor Avkolis.
Oh, they're having a laugh. They did that on purpose.
Yeah. In the same scenario, the bad guy... Okay. This is Chibnall's era, okay? Let me tell you how bad it is.
Infamous Chibnall.
You want to know the name of the bad guy? Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw.
And he does something of the same thing, where he condenses the planets, and he has them in these special containment fields, and they're very unstable. He has to, but it's very similar in that scenario to the pirate planet.
Yeah, I like the Men in Black version where they have the entire galaxy inside of a marble. The cat wears it around its collar, and so these galactic wars are being fought over it.
Over a marble,
little marble galaxy.
All right. So anyway, the doctor's like, "Well, this is amazing. This is astounding. This is fantastic." And the guy's like, "Well, the captain is like, glad you approve." And he's like, "Well, I don't approve of what you're doing, but it's fantastic how you're doing it. But I don't approve."
I mean, he goes off on him.
He does. He rips him a new one.
What could be worth all of this?
And we don't know yet. But then the doctor manages to talk his way, and Caleb's, or what is his name? Kemus's way, talks them out of being captured, and they escape. They go down the corridor, and they eventually reach the other side, and they go into a room, and here is a wizened old lady held by time dams.
Very frail.
Yeah, very frail, very ancient.
Have an apple, my pretty.
Right, she looks 150 years old.
Totally unresponsive.
Right, and she's being held in the last seconds of her life. And that is the Zanzia Queen. Turns out that she's still alive, And the doctor's like,
she's dying, and with this gigantic amount of energy they have
by devouring planets.
Gigantic amount of gravity and these compressed gravity dams. They've expanded the last moments of her life as she's dying into an absurdly long amount of time as they're basically building her a new body.
Right, theory of relativity stuff. So the doctor says, okay, what's his name? Kunis? Caleb. Really?
Jonathan. Kemus.
So the doctor says, Kemus, okay, you go with K9, and I need you guys to destroy the engines of this planet before they destroy any more planets. In the meantime, the captain and his nurse have decided to go destroy planet Earth, Terra, Sol, planet 3, yep. Because it has quartz.
Why did quartz?
They need quartz.
We have a lot of quartz.
They call it something else, and the doctor goes, "That's quartz."
Was that the Mantonite 1-5?
Yeah, something like that.
So the reason they need this is because currently the Mantats are infiltrating the bridge, and they're really powerless against the Mantats. Well, kind of. It's a back and forth.
Yeah.
But they can set up a jammer for their...
Which they did by consuming the other planet, and they took the crystals out of that.
Yeah, but basically there's this... kryptonite there are these very rare materials they're mining to use as a weapon against the Mantats.
So...
Because they've been a constant thorn in their side, because as much as they grow in power by consuming their planets, they're also growing the power of these other psychics, which are their opposite. Which
antagonists. They're antagonists. They're enemies. So anyway, the Mentats get in, but they have a psychic turn-off machine, so the Mentats cannot focus their power on anything. In the meantime, the doctor confronts the captain and them.
There's a lot in this series.
Yeah, it happens pretty quick. It would have been a 6-part in the old days. So the doctor confronts the captain, and I was like, oh, you're going to walk the plank, doctor. And
they had to throw that trope in there with the pirate.
It's a pirate, yeah.
Needs a plank.
Right. But it's also established that he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be sailing in the galaxy.
Trapped.
He feels trapped on this planet, and it's shown that is very, very much the nurse who's in charge. We don't know if she's Xanthia yet, but it's a nurse who's in charge.
Controlling him, because he's this half cyborg person.
Left half, yeah.
And she has this control panel, and he doesn't really have his own
She
freedom.
can turn him off, yeah. But shows that she's really the one in charge. And so he says, okay, doctor, you're going to want the plank. And
I love that even the doctor, like, he almost breaks character, or like the fourth wall. He's like, really? Seriously?
Really? A plank?
And then the captain's like, yeah,
it's a simple concept. You walk the plank. When you get to the end, you fall off 1,000 feet and you die. And I was like, wait a minute, just listen to me. And the doctor's trying to tell him.
I'll listen to your screams.
Yeah, I'll listen to you scream. It's like, ah.
So it's fun. It's a bit goofy, but it's self-referential. And then
I'm trying to remember how the doctor was saved.
So it's not really the doctor on the plank.
Oh, that's right.
Because while he was in the room with Zanzia's...
Alright, hold on. End of episode 3. I thought he'd be saved by a scarf or by K9 flying the air car.
The Peter Pan thing where he jumps and grabs the board.
Or K9 flying the air car, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I figured that'd be it, but no.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to think of that.
Yeah. So K9 was flying an air car. Alright. To get up to the bridge. So the doctor...
I think K9...
That's a very brief little clip of a scene, you know?
Oh, the recap?
No, K9 flying the air car.
Yeah, it was pretty...
brief.
It's very just a transitioning shot explaining how this person got from here to there.
Yeah.
But I think the K9 is a Dalek. Because he has the plunger thing?
No.
I'm pretty sure there's a Dalek inside
No.
K9. It's the only thing that makes sense.
No.
He's very smart. He's a robot shell. He has a plunger.
That can happen without being a Dalek. Alright, so end of episode 3, the Doctor's falling off the plank. Mm-hmm. Beginning of episode 4, you see him fall off the plank. And then the Doctor walks into the room, and he's got this projection machine. And he's like, that was pretty clever, wasn't it? And he says, look, here it is, projection again. You see the Doctor over there again while he's over here. And, hi, Doctor, so I can turn it off. And he says, by the way, I can also turn off other projections. And he points it at the nurse. And she flickers, but she doesn't quite turn off.
Mm-hmm. So we find out that this projector machine is basically like arranging atoms to create a semi-ethereal form. Semi-corporeal form. And it doesn't work to turn off the nurse because she's almost completely corporeal at this point. And she explains that she's really Zanzia, and she's building herself a new body, and that's how the projector machine works. And that's why they need this immense amount of energy and resources and power so that they can harness these machines to kind of just like collide atoms together to create new bodies.
And she's willing to kill billions of people to extend and sustain her life. Very Warhammer 40k-ish, you know?
I don't know anything
about
Warhammer.
I think this was before that, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. But there's a thing in Warhammer 40k where thousands of people must die every day to sustain the Emperor. Yeah, it's something like that.
That's the Zerg.
Something like that, yeah.
Aliens.
But anyway, so she's alive. What are you doing?
Do you want to smoke?
That's a pack
these
of
are cards.
I don't generally smoke.
I'm joking. It's a joke. Every time I see your pack of cards, it looks like a box of cigarettes.
Okay. A pack of cigarettes.
What is it? Box?
Yeah.
Carton? Box. Pack.
Pack of cigarettes.
Pack of cards, pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. Anyway, so the doctor's like, I can turn you off. She's like, no, you can't. And the doctor's like, okay. He manages to escape.
After the exposition.
After a whole bunch of stuff, yeah.
He escapes because K9 shows up right when the captain ordered the parrot to execute him.
When the parrot's flying around, K9's flying around.
Dog versus bird.
Yeah, it's a battle of the pets.
Yeah.
Yes, love it. K9 eventually manages to kill the parrot, and he brings it to the doctor like a dog or a cat would to its master.
Good boy.
Yeah, good boy. You're a hero. And then the doctor's like, okay. Then he gets to Romana, and he's like, okay, you need to go. They're about to dematerialize to go trap Earth. You need to envelop it. You need to take the TARDIS, and we need to stop it at the exact same moment like we did last time.
Like when they first arrived, they were trying to arrive on Califrax, but they couldn't because at that exact moment, by fluke, Zarak planet was also materializing. So he's well, if we're both materializing at the same time, neither of us can materialize. That's how we keep
and one of us will have to stop because it will explode.
Yeah.
So,
meanwhile, the psychics are left there with K9 as they're trying to break through their... so K9 is...
They're trying to break through the door to get into the engine room to stop the plane.
They can't because their psychic abilities are being jammed. So K9 is emitting a counter
field, yeah.
Counter field.
Yeah.
But he's low on power, but then they plug him in. So
right. So he's going to do it eventually. And Doc's like, you gotta get to the door. So the doctor tells Prelix. Alright, Prelix.
30 years.
You're such a Hanyak.
30 years from now, you're going to remember that name.
Yeah, like I'll be alive 30 years from now.
You're going to be like,
tells Prelix, focus on my mind. And the Dr. Romana leave, they go back to the TARDIS. And then they're in the TARDIS and they're stopping the planet from enveloping Earth and consuming it by doing that deal where they both can't be there. And the doctor's like, okay, I'm trying to get in touch with Prey, so Mama, turn off the force field. She's like, I don't want to. He says, do it.
This giant TARDIS and this very small TARDIS, so they don't think the small TARDIS is really going to outlive the planet TARDIS.
Yeah.
So he's trying to communicate with the Mentats, but he can't get through mentally through the TARDIS force field. So he says, we have to turn off the force field. It's like, are you crazy? That's the only thing protecting us. So they do.
And he's like, okay.
Can you open the door yet? He says,
no.
Can't even lift, hardly a spanner. And he's like,
a spanner, a monkey wrench, we would call it. And he's like, a spanner in the works. That's perfect. So he gets him to look past the door, lift a spanner that happens to be in that room, and go and hit one particular device. Lots of gobbledygook.
Chain reaction.
Yeah, chain reaction. And the planet stops moving, and everything explodes in the engine rooms.
So now the TARDIS is safe to rematerialize.
Right. And Fibuli dies. I hate that.
Yeah, we actually get this very melancholy, warm-hearted moment where the captain is this kind of tragic villain because he's being controlled by Zanzia. He doesn't really want to be there. He's not a good person, but he's trying to escape. And he's just a tyrant and a total bully to Fibuli. And then Fibuli dies, and he goes, my only friend, and he's saddened by his...
Yeah, and he's down with his body going, oh, you will be avenged. And it's really sweet.
That's nice. I like relatable villains or like, tragic villains.
Yeah.
They're bad, but you feel bad for them too.
Yeah.
They're a victim of their circumstances in a certain way.
So lots of people dead in the bridge, but the TARDIS does not, the pirate planet does not consume the Earth. They stopped that.
They couldn't make it to the Earth.
Yeah, the engines are gone, and the doctor's like, okay, and...
So they rematerialize.
No, but the captain...
The captain blames Zanzia.
Right, he's messing with stuff, yeah.
His friend, so he says, I will avenge you. And he's trying to basically sabotage her recorporealization to a new body. And she says, you fool! And she has this control panel on her side, and she fries his brain circuits.
She fries it and kills him.
And he dies, too.
Yeah.
One of the 13 deaths we see on camera.
Yeah. So
meanwhile, in the rake and shake and tumble of the rematerialization, there's several dead guards all over the floor.
Right. So the doctor says, okay, we're going to take the planets, mess with this holding gravitational pattern of them, and we're going to make them recorporealize inside the pirate planet. They'll get big again. But what about the one they came for? Well... Yeah, that will be spun off to space and we'll go grab it.
Lots more sci-fi jargon. But basically,
a lot of sci-fi jargon.
All these super dense, compressed planet cores that, if they were left unchecked, would create black holes because of the immense amount of gravitational pull. Yeah. They're held in such perfect alignment that if anything's, you turn a dial and everything's going to rip itself apart and create a gravitational whirlpool. So the doctor very ingeniously, perfectly calculates how to keep them perfectly in balance while taking the original core of Califrax and decompressing it back into the center of... Or is it Xerax?
Yeah. All the other planets get uncompressed. Califrax gets uncompressed, but gets kind of shut off, and he's going to capture it with the wand they were given.
Yeah.
And...
it's kind of strange.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So the second part of the key is the entire planet of Califrax.
Yeah.
It's strange because we have one serial this season per part of the key because there's 5 keys. And we got 6 keys. And we got the first part during the first serial, and now we're on the second serial, but we still don't have the second part. So it's
I get it.
the pacing is
No, they basically.
Do they just kind of brush it off?
They basically got. I don't remember.
So like third serial, they're like, okay, we have it.
Yeah, they'll have it. Yeah, but
how did they get it from an entire planet? Do you materialize the entire planet into the key?
Well, no, it's that bit, and apparently it was an uninhabited planet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
very cold.
They recover it, and they turn into the bit of the key. But so he goes, wait. What about Queen Xanax? What about the bridge?
Is it a bit of the key? 6 bits?
8 bits.
8 bits in a byte.
8 bits in a byte. 8 bits in $1.
You haven't taken a bite of your food, but I bit it.
No, 8 bits of. You know, 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits $1.
I bit my food 8 times to take 1 bite.
Okay. So anyway, the doctor's like, okay. Romano's like, what are you gonna do about Queen Xanax and the bridge? He's like, blow it up. She's like, rather crude. He's like, yeah, but satisfying. So they set up explosives, and he says, okay, Mentats, am I gonna do this or you? And they're like, no, we'll do it. And they blow up the bridge, and the doctor and Romano leave. End of episode 4. End of the serial.
And then Zanzia goes spinning off into the galaxy like Rita Repulsa, like, I'll get you next time, dang kids. And we see her again later on, right?
No. Okay. No. None of that last statement ever happens.
We never see Zanzia again.
Correct. She's
That's
dead.
the one question I always have to ask is, do we see this villain again?
No, this time.
The answer's usually no.
Oh my gosh. What are your questions?
There's a lot to talk about time and dates, and we find out that the doctors had this TARDIS for 523 years.
Yeah.
Which means 523 years ago he stole the TARDIS.
Yes.
As Hartnell.
Yes.
Which he has... We assume Hartnell was his first...
The first incarnation of the Doctor,
yes. Yeah. And he has the 800-year journal.
500 year.
Oh, is there... why was I thinking 800 years?
I don't know. 500 years.
He has 2 500-year journals?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
Okay.
So
second question.
He said about 23 years of adventures before
or after the journal.
Yeah. Basically, my question is, Hartnell lived so much longer than every other generation of the Doctor.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
Okay.
Oh, well, again, you have that thing where it doesn't show you everything the Doctor does, and he's had several off-camera adventures.
Hartnell lived a long time, but Tennant, the 10th Doctor.
Oh, he has a really long...
He has a good long lifespan.
Is that the one that dies and comes back and dies and it comes back and dies and comes back?
That's Capaldi.
Okay.
That's the 12th Doctor. He does that for
all
billions
for
of
you,
years.
a human. Right?
All for Clara. Just, I want to punch it. I just want to, have you seen Fight Club?
I have seen Fight Club. You showed me Fight Club.
I showed you Fight Club. I just wanted to destroy something beautiful,
Yeah.
I just want to take that and punch it.
I was thinking about Fight Club earlier.
It's a great episode.
It's a great movie.
God. Oh, Fight Club, yeah. Alright, what other questions do you have?
We covered some of them. Oh, why didn't the sonic screwdriver unlock the door? Because it's not a wooden door.
True.
And he uses a paper clip instead.
Yeah, he ends up using a hairpin, which is great. I love that.
I feel like the sonic screwdriver is so inconsistent. It's like, there's a 50-50 success rate.
Agreed.
And we don't really know why. Sometimes they explain
when
it
the plot calls
so...
for it, it works. When the plot calls for it, it doesn't work.
K9 is just another sonic screwdriver, I feel like.
He's a good catch-all.
Yeah.
You're kind of right, actually.
Yeah. The Mentats came for the Doctor, but we have come for you. I spelled it C-U-M because he said it was kinky. Yada, yada, yada. Do we ever see a TARDIS-like planet again on this scale? That same technology that's kind of used with the TARDIS to dematerialize, but on a larger scale? Because I thought this was very unique. Very
right.
unique.
Douglas Adams was a great writer.
Yeah. Oh, did we talk about this was written by?
Yeah. Douglas Adams,
Yeah.
first of 3 serials. The other 2 are upcoming pretty quickly. Okay, so the Daleks later on move several planets and steal them and moons.
They're stealing planets.
And moons.
It reminds me of Despicable Me, and they're stealing like the Empire State Building and the pyramids.
Yeah.
They just go missing.
But
it's like, how?
they steal planets and moons to set them up in a gravitational setup. Kind of the same way this one was.
So they're not like shrinking them, or they're just like...
No, but they're setting them up in a gravitational...
Rematerializing.
A perfect gravitational setup. And that happens in Series 4.
Why did they need that set up? To slingshot things like a weapon, or... Energy?
Not exactly, but it's kind of the same scenario to set up
to
energy.
take over the galaxy.
Well, to set up energy, right?
Okay.
And the moon of Kush. Who'd want to steal the moon of Kush?
Guess what they grow there?
What?
Kush.
Kush.
It's the weed moon. I'll tell you why they want to steal it.
Alright. What other questions do you have? But that's it.
Okay. It's a very unique serial then. Do we ever see the Daleks time travel again? It has nothing to do with the serial, but you just remind me of the Daleks. Because we've seen the time, the what in space? The chase in space? What was that one?
The chase.
Yeah, the chase. And we see that the Daleks have a time machine, but do we ever see that again?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I mean, they do travel. I don't remember if they time travel again.
There's 2 things you need for the Daleks to become the greatest threat in the universe. Is 1, their access to time travel, which is why they're always trying to get the Doctor's knowledge. And 2, the ability to walk upstairs. Both of which they achieve at some point.
Yes.
But not both at the same time. Other ways they'd be undefeatable.
They will eventually be able to go upstairs.
But not time travel. If they had both, game over.
Eventually.
If they could time travel and go upstairs, Doctor has no chance. Really? Okay.
Alright, what else do you have?
I think we just about covered it. We covered a few things going through the recap. Mostly I just wrote down quotes. I really like the serial. Pretty straightforward. Other than like the science jargon, there's not like a whole lot of questions I had. For episode 4, my only note was I like the serial. Oh, here we go. Here's one more. Well, my last question. The very end, they're celebrating. Romana's very professional, and they're talking about the Doctor's genius, and it's like, well, we saved the day. We can relax. And she goes, congratulations. And she goes to shake his hand, and he goes, and he doesn't shake her hand. Why do you think that is? Why doesn't he shake Romana's hand?
No idea, actually.
I didn't know either.
That was a little odd.
It was odd. She's very professional. She's his colleague. She's his assistant. She's there to help him find the keys. And it's like the Doctor is avoiding this professional relationship because he's so used to having companions, and he has friendships, not colleagues. And
right.
So he goes to shake her hand, and then he changes his mind, and he just says, yeah, it was a good job. We did good. It feels like he's avoiding a personal relationship because she's kind of growing on him, like all his companions do, and he wants to regard her more as a personal friend rather than a work associate. So he goes,
maybe, yeah.
It was odd though. I don't know. I didn't shake her head.
But no, you're right. All right. Okay, so we'll see you next week for our 100th episode. Yes,
we finally made it.
Stones of Blood.
3 years later.
No, 4 years.
4 years later, there's Stones of Blood. Kidney stones. We'll see.
100th episode. No, we
Jelly
don't want
babies.
kidneys. World Market. You can get them at World Market over on Marshall Sharp Freeway.
And a stick of celery.
Yeah. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
One of us has
We're going to finish that chess game.
Eventually, yeah. You're closing in on me. I'm feeling real threatened. I gotta put